His name is Sam Glenn. He is the author of 15 books, has talked to over more than 2 million people, and to audiences as large as 75,000 people. He has also appeared with New York former city mayor Rudy Giuliani. He has known success and failure. At one time, Sam operated a business in the billion-dollar industry that was lost overnight in a fire. Riddled with depression and doubt, Sam got by working nights as a janitor, sleeping on borrowed floor space. But through small changes to his attitude, Sam developed the courage to dream new dreams with experiences of a better life. Sam's simple philosophy is that life gets better when we get better. I hope you leave today feeling motivated, energized, inspired, and enlightened. Sam Glenn is funny and amazing, and he has a powerful message for you today. So please put your hands together and give an enthusiastic Western Iowa Tech welcome to Sam Glenn.
Thank you very much. Larry had a goal. He had a dream. When Larry was a little boy, he wanted to fly jets. So Larry asked his teachers, what do I need to do to fly those jets? Teachers told him everything he needed to do. You need to get good grades, get accepted into the Air Force Academy. Larry did that. Larry got to the Air Force Academy. He excelled there. He did very well. His dream, his goal was to fly one of those jets. He asked his teachers there, what do I need to do? I want to fly a jet. They told him everything he needed to do, and Larry followed him to a T. He excelled at the Air Force Academy. And just before they were about to qualify him to say, Larry, you can go out and you can fly one of those $1 million machines, they did a physical on Larry and discovered a disability in his eyesight. They disqualified him and said, Larry, I'm sorry, because of the disability in your eyesight, you'll never be able to fly jets ever. Larry was completely depressed about this, so the only thing he could do was sit in his backyard for nearly 2 weeks, depressed, watching planes and jets fly over his house. But then after 2 weeks, Larry got it. Larry said, you know, I'm tired of sitting around. Today I'm going to fly. So Larry goes inside, he creates some blueprints, and he says, I'm going to create a flying machine out of my lawn chair. So Larry makes a blueprint, goes down to the Army surplus store. He says, hey, I need some balloons, a lot of balloons. That's how he's going to fly. He's going to rig up a lot of balloons to his lawn chair. So he bought a lot of weather balloons, bought a couple helium tanks, filled them up, tied the rope to them, tied them up to the lawn chair. But then Larry decided to have, to make a day of it. So he made some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, put them in a cooler, rigged the cooler up. Now Larry, according to these blueprints, he would only fly maybe about 100 feet above his house. And all the neighbors would see him and go, hey, there's Larry. Hey, Larry. Larry's flying in his lawn chair, honey. Come here, look at this. That was Larry's goal. Then Larry decided, according to these blueprints, I got to have a plan to come down. So Larry decided he went inside, loaded up his shotgun, and decided when he wanted to come down, he'd shoot some of those balloons. So he rigs his shotgun up into the lawn chair. Larry's ready to go. See, I believe when you step out and you go for it, whatever it might be, get involved, you will exceed your expectations. Larry exceeded his expectations this day. Larry cut himself loose. Larry did not go to 100 feet. Larry did not go to 500 feet. All of his neighbors are like, look at him go, he's still going. Larry leveled off somewhere near 8,000 feet in the air. Larry is just floating around with the birds going, this is not right at all. And as he's floating around, Larry's like, I better not shoot any balloons because I don't want to fall. So Larry floated around for close to 9 hours in the air, just eating sandwiches, when just then a commercial airplane passes Larry in the air. Everybody on the left-hand side of the plane is kind of like, excuse me, flight attendant? I just saw a man with a lawn chair. He had a gun. The pilots saw it too. The pilots were like, you see that? Okay. So they radioed into the tower. They said, this is flight 7719, leveling off 8,000 feet. We just passed a guy in a lawn chair. He had a gun. The tower thought the two pilots had been drinking. But then they noticed on the radar there was an unidentified object. It was a guy in his lawn chair. And so it became a 911 red alert to rescue the guy in his lawn chair. They averted all the airplanes so nobody would splat Larry. And then they had a helicopter flying above. And they lowered down a ladder. Larry grabbed onto it. They brought him to the ground and he arrested him immediately. It's against the law to fly that high with a gun. They took him to jail. And the reporter, just doing her job, had a microphone, and she said, "Larry, why did you do it?" And Larry gave a great answer. He said, "A fella cannot just sit his whole life out." See, I believe we were born to get up. We were born to move. We were born to achieve. See, in life, we're going to do one of two things. We're either going to make footprints in the sand or butt prints in the sand. And if you're offended by that, Dr. Phil's got a formula for you. Get over it. So I'll never forget the first time somebody said that, and I thought about it many years, and I wrote a very famous poem that got published and called Butt Prints in the Sand No More. And really, to make footprints is to make a difference with your life. To make butt prints is to make excuses. So the question is, what kind of person are you? Are you a footprint maker or a butt print maker? You got to decide. Today I want to share with you guys a couple ideas that I believe will make a difference in who you are and in what you do. First idea is this. I'm going to talk a lot about attitude. Now, a lot of people will say attitude is positive or negative. That's it. No, that's ridiculous. Attitude is more than positive or negative. Attitude takes on forms. It can take on positive forms and negative forms. It can take on positive forms such as humor, perseverance, understanding, determination. Or it can take on negative forms like laziness, hate, stuff like that. So today I want to talk to you about positive forms. I'm going to share 3 attitudes with you. Number 1 attitude, make a difference for you. Sense of humor. Some of us need to lighten up. Some of us, we're way too uptight. I can tell. Some of you looking at me right now, you need this message. You look uptight. Some of you look constipated. I don't even know. Some of you are like, "Oh, I'm a happy person." Well, you should communicate that to your face. Some of you looking at me right now like, I don't even know why I'm here. They just told me there's a speaker. Somebody's running around campus going, "You gotta go." We gotta relax a little bit. Get this, I did a study with people who have a good sense of humor. Medical research report proved this. People with a good sense of humor, number 1, they live longer. Number 2, they're sick less. Number 3, they earn more money, eventually. And number 4, they're better looking people. Anybody want to walk out of here better looking than when you walked in? And not a lot of people raise their hands. You should have. It's okay. Humor is like a muscle. It can be developed. My dad has what is known as delayed humor. If he was here right now, this is how my dad's not a laugh out loud kind of guy. He'd be sitting there. If it was funny, he'd turn to you and go, "It's funny." You'd be like, "I'm disturbed by you." My mom, on the other hand, that woman, she wears her party pants. You know, there's a good time wherever she's at. If she was here right now, she'd light this crowd up. You'd hear her. She'd be in the back. We'd have to put her in the back row because she's so loud when she laughs. The woman sounds like a dog horn. Many of you be like, "She okay? She need oxygen?" My mom knows how to light it up. I remember taking a family vacation from Chicago to Minnesota, our home state. 3 boys in the back seat. All of us have ADD. We're all hyperactive, and we love sugar. And we got to sit in the back seat for 8 hours with a dog. Dad's driving, and my dad is so tense when he drives like this, and you know, every sound that comes from the back, "Shut up! Concentrate!" Yeah, nobody's saying, "Shut up! Gotta pull this thing off a cliff." That's my dad. And we're having sibling rivalry in the back seat. "Get off my side, get off my side. I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, get off." So finally I crawled in the back, got into the toolbox, pulled out some duct tape. ADD people, we love duct tape. And I made a line. I said, "Ben, don't go over that line." But then we have duct tape. And you know, we're kids, we're trying to occupy our minds. So I start duct taping the doorknob, the back of Mom's seat. Ben starts duct taping the dog. We had a schnoodle, half poodle, half schnauzer. And Ben is, you know, it's already gray enough. And Ben's duct taping the dog. I'm like, "That's gonna hurt when you pull it off." He's like, "We're not pulling off, we're gonna have a duct tape dog." And little Christopher sees what we're doing. He looks over, he goes, "Give me some tape." "Give me some tape, shut him up." We gave him a big piece. It shut the boy up. He wrapped it around his head twice. Put it around his mouth, and he looks at Ben and I and starts making faces. Ben and I thought, let's all do that. So we all put duct tape on our face. And as cars were driving by, we're like, let's make faces at cars. Guess what? Cars did not see three boys having fun making faces. When they drove by, they saw three boys duct taped up in the back seat of the station. I kid you not. About 15 minutes up the road, we got pulled over. My parents got pulled over for suspicion of kidnapping. I think they were just checking it out. Somebody called it in and said, I don't know if it's a prank or if kids are being kids, but they called it in and they weren't really uptight about it. The officer wasn't uptight, but he did ask my dad to get out of the car. And when he told my dad what had happened, of all the times I've seen my dad get angry, this is it. The look in his eyes said, it's time to meet Jesus. And if that officer wasn't there, there'd be 3 crosses on the side of the road. My dad just glared past the officer through the windshield at his 3 boys. He's just like... I remember looking at Chris going, lock the door! Then my dad did something that some of us we need to do. He walked away. Lifted his hands and said, I can't take it. Starts walking down the highway. Officer doesn't know what to do. Officer looks in the car. My mom says, your husband's leaving. Mom, who's crocheting her Christmas gifts. She's like, I know. I'll be back. My dad was going to cool down. He had some vein that was bulging right here. And I think when you're sweating Tabasco sauce, you should take some time to think. Because we never produce positive solutions. We never respond in a healthy way when we have a hot head. When Dad got back, he actually found some good perspective out of the whole situation. He actually found the humor in his 20-minute walk. He got in the car, and the first thing he said was, he didn't yell at his 3 boys. We just sat there staring at him like, what's he gonna do? And he looks back and he goes, boys, there's a right way and a wrong way to use duct tape. You guys found the wrong way. And he pauses, he looks over at my mom. It was funny. She looks at him. It's okay if you have a little delayed humor. Don't be afraid to let it out. See, what is funny? We have to learn to laugh at the pure, the positive, not the ugly and the disgusting and the wrong. See, we have to learn to find the humor in the little things. There's humor all around us. Get this. Somebody emailed me this the other day. They thought this was funny. I thought it was funny too. Some guy's trying to steal gas out of an RV. This is out of the Seattle newspaper. He's trying to steal gas out of an RV, and he takes a siphon hose, and instead of sticking it into the gas tank, he puts it into the septic tank. It's not gas at all. Kind of. He got so sick, and the owner called the police because they didn't know what to do. And the police said, would you like to press charges? The guy says, no, I haven't laughed this hard in years. There's 2 roadblocks to a good sense of humor. There's 2 types of people that don't connect to a good sense of humor. Number 1, it's the person with an ego. This is the person that walks around and they're just like, look, it goes from God to me. They have a chip on their shoulder. They're opinionated people. They're always ready to tell you what they think. You want to know what's on my mind? Not really. They're not fun people to be around, and their relationships reflect that. The other person is the criticizer and the complainer. These are the people looking at me right now going, why is he wearing black? Who died? I don't like his voice. Who combs their hair like that? They're just finding everything wrong with me right now. I don't like that he used the word constipation. I am severely offended. These are the people you bring to your house when you're cleaning, because they'll find all the dirt right then and there. If you're a criticizer and a complainer, I got news for you. People love you when you leave a room. If you're a criticizer and a complainer, today you can change. You can change at any moment. I love the story of a guy who's given a tour of the Blarney Castle. As he's giving this tour, he's just trying to do his job. Lady gets off the airplane, and from the moment she gets off, she's just complaining about everything. The food, the hotel, the accommodations. This guy wants to unload on her, but he can't because he's got a family. He's got to keep this job. He's got to feed his kids. Finally, they get to the Blarney Castle, and this is in Ireland, and they're getting ready to do the tour, and they did part of the tour, and then there's the Blarney Stone, which legend has it, if you kiss the Blarney Stone, it brings you good luck. Well, they marked it off because of construction. This lady lost it. She's like, I came all the way to kiss the stone. Now I can't even kiss the stone. And the guy thought very quickly. He looked at her and he said, you know, legend has it, if you kiss somebody that's kissed the stone, that will bring you good luck too. She looks at him and says, well, I suppose you've kissed the stone? He said, well, better than that, I've sat on it. Some of you get that later. There's humor all around us. And here's the best kind of humor. You are your number one source of humor. You need to learn to laugh at yourself and the little things that you do. I'm ADD. I have attention deficit disorder. I had it as a kid. Now it's transformed into adult attention deficit disorder. And I've learned to study. I had to do some studies about ADD so I could conquer this. I don't take medication. I live with the fun. And to give you an idea how fun it is, I drove through a McDonald's, this was a short time ago, where I paid for, you know, my food at window 1. I got halfway home and realized I forgot to stop at window 2. ADD people. We try to focus on the most sparkly thing in the room, so if you ever see somebody just checking things out, they might have a little ADD. And you know, here's what else. Somebody sent me some humor material because I always try to laugh at the ADD things in my life. ADD people will say stuff, do stuff, and then think about it later. Just to give you an example, a little boy, 6 years old, he has attention deficit disorder, sits on a park bench next to 3 blonde women who all happen to be professional wrestlers, WWF wrestlers. The little boy sees the 3 blonde women and says, hey, would you guys like to hear a blonde joke? One of the wrestlers looked down, kind of disturbed, and she says, you might want to think about telling that joke, boy. Little boy looks up and says, yeah, you're right. I don't have to explain it 3 different times. That's ADD. We have to learn to laugh at ourselves. I was in the Atlanta airport, and in a little bit you'll see me do the chalk art. I was in the Atlanta airport, and I had some chalk on my face, and I reached into the stall. I had luggage on, and I reached into the stall, and you know, I'm kind of halfway in the stall, can't get all the way in there, and I grabbed the toilet paper, and I start unraveling it, and it's unraveling on the ground. I'm like, that's awesome. And then I brought it up in the air like that, and I snapped it. I only had one hand available. When I snapped it, I grabbed it, I'm like, you know, I'll blow my nose when I get to my gate. But then there's the other half. It was coming down, and I don't know how. I wish I could explain it, but it got trapped in my bag, in my shirt here, somewhere in here. It got caught. I don't know how it happened, but it did. And I'm walking to my gate, and the Atlanta airport's huge. I'm walking 10 minutes to my gate. And as I'm walking to my gate, people are smiling at me. And the way my mind works, I'm like, I look good today. A little strut in my step. I get to the gate, there's this little elderly man, he's laughing. His wife is sitting next to him, she's like laughing, looking away. And he looks up at me, he goes, young man, do you have a piece of toilet paper hanging off the back of your pants? There's nothing little about this toilet paper. I can't see the back of my pants, but I can see the ground right there. Like, oh, wow. It was a banner of toilet paper. And the weird part is nobody said a single word. I'm walking 10 minutes to the airport with this thing flapping off the way, and nobody says anything. I'm pure entertainment for people. Now I had a choice. That's what humor is a choice. I could have looked at this old man and said, shut up, old man! Stop laughing at me! Instead, I grabbed the toilet paper, crinkled it up, put a smile on my face, and I said, I'm just saving that for later. We have to learn to laugh at ourselves. I fell off an airplane a couple years ago, San Jose Airport. Did you already play this story for everybody? I did. It wasn't in the air. It was on the ground. This is the San Jose Airport where they build the stairs up to the doorway. And I'm in the back of the plane, and you know, being 6'7", I have to stay like this with all my luggage. Basically, I have to oompa loompa walk off. And as I'm standing in the back, the little flight attendant sees how tall I am, and she yells over everybody. She goes, "Excuse me, sir." Everyone's looking around. She goes, "Big guy." Everybody looks at me. What? She goes, "You gotta watch your head. You're tall." Thanks, I didn't know that. Till just this moment. We all kind of started laughing, but in 9 years of traveling the country, that's still good advice. Because I've taken out 2 exit signs and headbutted a television set. And when you're ADD, you don't see it. You're just walking along. Remember one guy got behind me and goes, "Good God, did that hurt? You see him hit that thing?" And this is where the humor kicked in. I just got up, and because I practiced humor in my life, I thought quickly, I'm like, I felt good, there's another one, I'm going to get that one too. Now when I stepped up to the doorway, this is a relatively small plane, and they had the stairs going down, and 2 people are on the stairs, and flight attendant looks up, she goes, "Watch your head." I'm like, okay. Doesn't tell me there's a 5 or 6 inch thing you got to step over and get outside. I see that because I'm watching my head. I just fall. I do the nesty plunge. I've got nothing to grab onto except the man in front of me. And when I fell on this guy, I wrapped my arms around him and squeezed. Because when you fall, you should not fall with your arms going like this. Because that's how things go snap, crackle, and pop. So my mentality was, when we fall, I'll squeeze him tight and we'll snuggle and roll. That way he don't get hurt either. And when I hit him, his legs go out, and we start... And he yells, "What's going on? We're falling!" And some guy's at the bottom of the stairs, and I felt bad for him because he almost cleared it. His feet, the guy in front of me, his feet hit this guy goes flipping. He falls that way, the guy in the suit that I had like this falls this way. I'm still on the stairs. And as I'm laying there, I'm thinking, what happened? And this is the way my brain functions. I thought I could play it off. I looked up where we had just fallen and I put a disgusted look on my face. I looked at both of them like, who fell? They're both looking at me and the guy in the suit's just like, you did. I smiled, I said, that's right. And today I'm talking about attitude. We have to put our attitude to choice, not leaving it to chance. And a lot of times what happens, the first thing at the beginning of the day, we allow that to set our attitude for the day. I don't want these guys walking away going, big people are going to fall on me. So I walked over, and I thought I'd, make amends and help them feel good about it. So I walked over to the first guy and I said, "Sir, I'm so sorry." And I said, I just fell, and I started laughing a little. And he laughed about it. He had a good attitude. This guy did not have a good attitude. And here's the power of humor. Humor can dissolve the human bond within seconds. This guy, I walk over, I said the exact same thing. I said, "Sir, I'm sorry, I'm big, I fell." He gets this look that says, "I'm going to kill you." And he gets right up into my neck. Looks up at me, and he just says, "What is so funny? What's so funny?" Now, before I practiced having a good sense of humor, if somebody would have done that to me, I would have looked at this guy and said, "I will sit on you, man. You don't want to dance with this big old boy." Instead, within 3 seconds, I dissolved a human body. That's the power of humor. I looked up when we had just fallen. I kind of pointed up. I'm like, "You want to do it again?" And I just paused and I let him process it. He takes a half step back, gets a half smile, looks at me and goes, "You ain't right in the head, are you?" "No, I'm not." Humor is all around us. There's a lot of benefits to humor. When you have humor, it releases chemicals into your body called endorphins that makes you feel better, relieves you of stress, anxiety, depression, can heal cancer or illnesses. Dr. Don Colbert wrote a book called Deadly Emotions. I highly recommend it. It's been proven, medically proven, that every thought that you have releases chemicals into your human body. They say when we're angry, the moment that you're angry, your human body produces so much acid that if they took that acid out of your body right then and put it into a pig, the pig would fall over and die. Some of us, we don't realize that our anger or the stresses or our negative thoughts really hurt the human body. It's like a carbohydrate. The effects of it don't show up right away. So if you're upset today, you're driving to work, like driving to school, just yelling, nothing, and you're releasing, guess what kind of chemicals you're releasing into your body? They're not good ones. But guess what? The effects of it don't show up right away, like a carbohydrate. You have a donut today? Oh, that was good. You're like, "Hey, nothing." 2 days later, where'd that come from? Carbohydrates don't show up for like maybe a couple days. That's the effect of negative thinking. People come to me all the time, and it's been medically proven that your negative thinking can produce ailments in your body. You might have stomach disorder, IBS, skin disorder, you're chronically fatigued, you don't feel good, you might even look older than what you are. If you have people coming to you going, "Man, look like you're 100 today." I know women who would be offended by that. You have to think about that. Learn to have some better thoughts. So let me share with you this point. How do you get a great attitude? Many years ago, I met a man by the name of Zig Ziglar. Mr. Ziglar is probably one of the most profound motivational speakers on our planet today. He's great. And I was at a buffet, and I knocked this man over. I didn't know who he was. I mean, look at my size. You get in my way at a buffet, it's going to be trouble. And I spilled some orange juice on him, but he was so positive about it. Most people would flip out. "You've got orange juice on my suit. You're paying for it." Instead, he smiled and he goes, "Well, I don't have that flavor on me yet." And over the years, I had the chance to talk with him and interview him. And I remember asking him one day over the phone, I said, "Mr. Ziglar, you're so positive. How do you keep such a positive attitude in such a crazy world with changes and challenges?" And he said, "Sam, I realize the power of my mind." He says, "I read on an average of 3 hours every day. I read at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day." He says, "I read positive quotes." He says, "What I input into my mind comes out into my actions, my work, how I treat my wife, everything." He says, "Some of us, we get this thing called stinking thinking. And that's why we got to take time to do a checkup from the neck up." He said, "You don't want to be like the guy sitting in church and the lady takes a deep breath. Smells like somebody's deodorant's not working." Guy looks over and says, "Well, it can't be me. I'm not wearing any." Point an example. You might have a little bit of stinking thinking. You might need to do some, get some positive material and flood out. Maybe things that happened to you when you were a kid, negative things that you're just holding on to and just dragging through life. That's why health experts today, they tell us to drink 8 glasses of water a day. Why? Because it's fun to pee? No! To flood our system so we don't develop cancer or illnesses. You got to flush the toxins out. Now let me ask you a question. By show of hands, how many of you took a shower today? Okay, great. By show of hands, how many of you just thought about it? Not this person, great. It's good to know where you are. Now think about it this way. What if you didn't take a shower for, I don't know, the next week? Notice that was all the women who did that. Every guy in this place is like, no problem, I can do it. I'm up for the challenge. Now imagine this. Imagine you didn't take a shower for the next 6 months. Yeah. Now let's talk about this. How long does it take average time to take a shower? 10, 15 minutes? It's almost 5 minutes if you're in a rush. It's part of our daily routine. Dr. Mike Murdoch says our sex. Let it go further. That's it. Speaking 101. You will mess up. Our successes and failures can be traced to our daily routines. I will finish that. Our sex can be traced to our daily routines. Taking a shower is part of our daily routine, isn't it? Now think about it. After 6 months of not taking a shower, something so little, something so minute, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes during the day. How many of you believe that if you didn't take a shower for 6 months, that would begin to affect your relationships? Nobody wants to hang out anymore. How many of you believe that it might affect you at work, therefore affecting your finances? How many of you believe it would affect your health or your self-esteem, how you feel about yourself? See that 10 to 15 minutes a day? That makes a big difference, doesn't it? Now think about it this way, your attitude. Some of us, we don't recognize the power of our attitude, so we just leave it over there on the shelf, and every now and then we come to a little event like this, work on our attitude. But here's the key. Here's all you have to do at the beginning of the day. Start it off right. Determine your attitude. Don't leave it to chance. Put it to choice. Read a daily devotion, whatever it might be. Maybe read a positive quote book. I don't know what it is. Just all you got to do is get some good input in so it comes out. Now, when I was in college, they had a college fair, job fair. And I went around and I was asking people if they had any jobs under 15 hours a week. And everybody just kept laughing at me. And I walked out to a company called Arthur Anderson. And I said to the lady, I'm like, look, do you guys have anything that's under like 12, 15 hours a week? She laughed so hard. She thought I was joking. She thought I just had a good sense of humor. She's like, they called me, they hired me. But the job that they gave me, that was the biggest joke in the world. I was monkey boy. I worked in this department that was so negative. And I remember commuting to work downtown Chicago, and everybody going to work just looked, I'm like, wow, people work their whole life, go to college for this? That's wrong. And then I got there, you ride up and down the elevator at this place, people are so negative, uptight. And I'm just like, I guess what? I started to become like these people. Misery loves company, and it's always recruiting. Get this, a guy's ready to jump off a bridge. Police officer says, don't do it! Guy says, my life, it's no good, you don't understand. The officer says, just come down, we'll talk about it for a little bit. Guy comes down off the bridge, talks to the officer for a half hour. Not a half hour later, they both jumped off the bridge. Misery loves company, it's always recruiting. Guess what I started becoming like? The things that were around me. You have to understand, whatever is influencing your life, family, friends, work, school, whatever you put into your life as an influence, it's going to influence your attitude and how you are. I started becoming like these people. Guess how I started answering the phone? Hello? Yeah? Let me put you on hold. I'm going to go to the bathroom. That's how it is. And then I remember telling my mom, I called her up, I said, she goes, how's the job? I said, I hate this job. I hate the people. I said, I'm becoming evil. And I said, I think I better quit. That would be the healthy choice. And she said, no, son of mine's a quitter. I'm like, oh, yes, I am. And I don't think my mom understood her philosophy at the time, but Mom bought me a little motivational calendar, and we put that calendar up in my office, and she says, I want you to read that quote every day, pull it off, read the quote, say it out loud. She said, I want you to say it all day long. And I did. If it was a quote by Les Brown, you got to believe in yourself, I'd walk around and be like, you got to believe in yourself. People were like, who are you talking to? You got to believe in yourself. But guess what? I was putting good input in. And there was a big whiteboard right by my desk. You couldn't walk in or out of the place without seeing the whiteboard. So I started, ADD people, we love color, so I took colored markers and started writing up with color, putting up cool designs. You couldn't walk in or out, but you could identify the negative from the positive people right away. The negative people would stop, look at it and go, well, you don't believe in that, do you? I'm like, move along. And then people would walk in just to see the quote. They'd be like, I like that. You can have another one tomorrow? Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. I'm like, really? When my internship was done, they threw their first party for that division ever. I was just like, wow. Not because I was leaving. Thank God he's gone. They threw a party because of the difference I made. Guess what? I didn't make over $6 an hour. All these people had huge salaries, but I was making a huge impact there with my positive attitude. And everybody went around and said, this is the impact Sam had while he was here. And I was really touched. And then my supervisor got up. She was the last one. She says, I'm so glad Sam was here and the difference that he made. I'm so thankful for his attitude. And because of Sam, I am now pregnant. I'm like, have another piece of cake. Everyone's looking and laughing. I'm like, pardon me? She goes, my husband and I, we've been going back and forth about bringing up a child in this crazy world, and we've kind of debated, but every night I go home and I talk about your smile and the difference that you make here and your attitude. And she says, if we have a child, I hope they grow up just to be as nice and have a great attitude just like you. What a great thing to say. See, our attitude really does make a difference. Here's the second attitude I want to share with you, and then we'll get to the drawing. Courage. See, if you're going to live a great life, you need to act with courage. And I'm not talking about going to Las Vegas and putting everything on red. Okay, all of it, red 22. I don't even know if that's the right number. Okay, just lost the house and kids. That's not courage, that's stupidity. Courage is facing your fears, facing anything that will help you become more. What is it that you dream about? As adults, guess what happens? I speak mostly to adult groups, mostly corporate groups. And when I walk into my audience, they look tired, frustrated, uptight. But guess what they've lost? The power to imagine. They lost the power to dream because they're so caught up. Well, I got to do this, and I got to pay the bills, got to pay. They become a square. See, we got to have the courage to remember to keep dreaming. A young girl came up to me recently. She goes, "I'd like to write books just like you. How do you do it?" I'm like, "It's not hard. Get a rock, throw it up, wherever it lands, start there." She walks away. I'm like, "Where are you going?" She says, "Come get a rock." Do you know, recently I wanted to break through one of my fears that I felt was limiting me. Every year somebody says, "Hey, we're going to a fun park." I'm like, "Oh, really?" And I like fun parks, but I hate the rides. And I used to be afraid of roller coasters. People, as growing up, they'd be like, "Sammy, you want to go on the roller coaster?" "Oh, I can't. I got an intestinal problem." What does that mean? I can't, or everything will unravel. It's not good. He can't go on. He's got an intestinal problem. That's how it was. So 2 years ago, I finally decided to break through the fear. I go 26 people. And I learned that when you go 26 people to break through a fear of riding on a roller coaster, you should not tell 26 people you've never been on a roller coaster. As we stood in line for 2 hours, 5 of those guys are taunting me. They're just like, "Hey, Sam, you're gonna die." I'm so glad I'm doing this. And 2 hours waiting to face your fear, that can cause a lot of disorders within you. And I'm standing there, and here comes the cart. And people get out, and they're like, "Okay, get on." I'm like, "Okay." And they all told me, all my friends are like, first-timers got to ride the front cart. Some guy gets in front of me, he gets in, and then as we're sitting there, the little bar that's supposed to hold us in, it's not holding us in. It's not closing. And I just kind of laughed. I looked at the guy next to me, I'm like, "It's not closing." And then the kid who works there walks along, wiggles it, just goes, "Huh. Okay, Charlie, let it go." That's when the screaming started. I made a sound that no man should ever make. That thing closed halfway. It finally locked. I'm like, that's still not enough. And here we go. And as we're going up, I discovered something scarier than the roller coaster itself. The guy next to me. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw this guy do this. And the way my mind works, I thought, he's got the hiccups. Please have the hiccups. Then he does it again, but violently. And I'm looking right at him, I'm like, you okay? I don't know who this guy is. He was waiting to ride the front car as long as I was. And he says the last thing you ever want to hear a human say on a roller coaster. He goes, oh, I had bad nachos. Well, I think the roller coaster's a good solution to it. My friends started laughing hysterically behind me. My brother's like, what'd he say? I'm like, he had bad nachos. I don't mean to get gross with the story, maybe a little bit, but this is what happens when you break through your fears. It creates an experience for you and for other people. I didn't ask for this experience, but it came with the process of breaking through a fear. When you go through your fears, or whatever kind of limits you, it's going to create an experience, maybe an unexpected experience. This guy got violently sick, his head is down. He is sick as all can be. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should, the bar is only halfway closed. I'm like, maybe I should push him out. But then I also learned another valuable lesson. What goes around comes around. All my friends were laughing, and when we got to the top of the roller coaster, started going down, this guy couldn't keep his head down. You just saw this guy just go, all my friends are in the back. What is that? They're serving nachos on this ride. Buckle up. When I got off, I gotta tell you, my first thought was, I didn't smell good, I didn't look good, and I sat there, and I never felt so good in my life. When I got off the roller coaster, I was looking at everybody, I'm like, why did I wait so long to do that? That was awesome. And guess what? When you break through your fears, you're ready to go. You're ready to do more stuff. You can conquer more. I looked at all the other roller coasters, I'm like, I'm coming! I'm like, come on, everybody, let's go. Hey, bring Barstow, he's fine. There's little fears. There's understandable fears. I'm 6'7", 290, I'm afraid of spiders. If I'm around a bunch of guys, we're watching football, I see a spider, I'm like, ah! I don't like spiders. And being tall, people always think, oh, okay, there's always a spider in the corner. They're like, hey, Sam, here's a tissue, go get it. There are times where I've tried to, and the same thing happens every time. You get up there, and you're just like, oh, did you get it? Yeah, I got it. If I was at your house and you said, Sam, there's a spider. Can you get it? I'd be like, you got a blowtorch? Got one right in the garage. Go get it. I'm sorry, your house is coming down. Police will be, why is your house on fire? There's a spider. Are we done? I want to go to the art and do some art for you guys. Before I do, I want to set this up. I'll come back and share my final attitude. It'll only take a few moments, but a couple years ago, I was the person in the audience. I was sitting with 300 athletes, and I was the person who had a little bit of an ego. I was a little bit of a criticizer and complainer. As a person who wasn't involved, as a person battling depression, I was kind of negative. We had to hear speakers all week, some good, some not so good, and just then Brian McKenzie, who played for the Atlanta Falcons, introduced the last speaker. Boy, he impacted my attitude. He goes, gentlemen, Brian McKenzie introduces him. Gentlemen, your speaker today is 89 years old. We're just glad he's alive. Please welcome Bill Leach. And from the back runs down this little man who looks identical to the Monopoly guy. And I love Monopoly. I perked up right away. I'm like, we can fuck with this guy. He gets up and all he says is, he just says, if you're going to live your life, live it with courage. That's one of the greatest attitudes I think there is. And he puts the microphone down, the lights go out, some music goes on, and he goes to a blank canvas like the one you see here, and he drew the message right here. And when he was done, we gave him a standing ovation, and I was sitting there next to this guy, and I was just like, that's awesome, Monopoly man! And something in my gut said, Sam, go talk to the Monopoly guy. Just go say hey. And I really didn't know what to say to him. I walked down, I'm looking for him, and I didn't see him at first. I'm like, hey, somebody stepped on the Monopoly guy. And there he was, and I walked over. I'm like, hey, Bill. And I'm like, you did good, buckaroo. That was awesome. And he takes his finger and throws it into my chest. And I looked like, you want some of this? Actually, I didn't do that. I just kind of looked at him like, why are you doing that? And he looked up and he shocks my system. He had a great attitude. He loved people, but he loved to impact people's attitude, therefore affecting their whole life. He looks up at me and he goes, young man, I just want you to know, I love you. You sick old man. I started laughing, and I remember thinking, we really don't know each other. He said, I don't love you with the worldly kind of love. I love you with the kind of love that changes people's lives. Young man, your life was changed today. And he says, when you walk out those doors, he says, I want to encourage you to make courageous choices, because if you do, you'll live a courageous life. And he said, so many benefits and rewards come to us when we live with courage. For the next few moments, I'm going to go to this canvas and I'm going to draw a little bit for you. I invite you guys to sit back, enjoy the music, enjoy the art. I'll come back and close with one more attitude, and we'll be on our way. All right, here we go. If I can have the lights turned off, here we go.
is the last to you. This is your time here to do what you will do. Your life is now. Your life is now. Your life is now. In this undiscovered moment, lift your head up above the crowd. We could shake this world if you would only show us how. Your life is now. Your life is now. Your life is now. In this undiscovered moment, lift your head up above the crowd. We could shake this world if you would only show us how. Your life is now. Your life is now. Your life is now. Your life is now.
All right, thanks.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. I drew a beach scene because I wanted to, and I call this picture Footprints in the Sand. And you heard me at the beginning of my speech say in life we have one or two ways to go, footprints and buttprints. Footprints make a difference, buttprints we make excuses. And I think that we are put here to do more than make excuses. I'd like to share my final attitude with you. And there's one footprint that I believe that makes a difference. It's kindness, being nice to people. And I know for myself, a lot of people, they assume because I'm a speaker that I'm an extroverted person. I'm not. I'm very introverted. I don't know why. I get that from my dad. My mom is an extrovert. I am like, I'm not the life of the party. But a lot of people can assume because I'm like that I'm not a nice person. But I try to show my kindness in different ways, like contribution, or getting involved, or asking the question, what can I do for you? Or finding somebody who's in need and asking them, hey, what can I do to help you out? Always having my hand extended. And sometimes, even as a speaker, I don't just teach people in my audience, I have to teach people in the real world. I was at the O'Hare Airport, and because of construction in their garage, I couldn't park in their garage. We had to park in short-term parking, which was like 100 miles from the airport. And I had all this luggage, and I was with my assistant, Sean, and I was just like, man, it's going to take us forever to get on that tram. It's so crowded. I said, we'll never get on that tram with all this luggage and stuff. I said, let's take a taxi cab. It's a 2-minute drive, and I'll give him $50. Things were going good, and I'm like, hey, I'll just bless him with $50. We'll sew into him a little bit. And we get up there, and we get in the cab, and, a lot of people have been waiting, and all these cabs, they wait a long time to get a fare, and usually their fare averages around $30 to $40. And that's for like a half hour to, 45-minute drive. We're about to pay this guy $50 for 2 minutes of his time. And this guy, we get in, he's like, all right, do it. I'm like, short-term parking. What? This guy lost it on us. He's just like, he gets out of the car, tells the cab guy, he's like, these guys want to go short-term parking. And I roll down the window, I'm like, hey, we'll make it worth your while. And this guy he goes, ugh. He gets all this attitude, he's driving the whole way, kind of like my dad. And as he's driving, he's just got an attitude. I'm looking at Sean, I'm like, we're about to make this guy's night. He doesn't even know it. And I was still going to really, bless him with the $50. And when we got there, we got out. He didn't even help us with our luggage. We got out, and then he just gets out to get paid. And he goes, it's, $3.50. And I pulled out a $50 bill, and I laid it in his hand. I'm like, there's $50. I told you I'd make it worth your while. And this guy just melted right there. I melted the Wicked Witch of the West. He just looks at it, $50, and I said, he smiles and he looks at me, he goes, for real? And I said, I told you I'd make it worth your while. And I said, if people ever tell you that, you should listen to them. And then I looked at him, and this freaked my assistant out. I looked at him and I pointed, and I'm like, you be nice. That's exactly how I did it too. I was tired. It was the end of a long day, and I couldn't believe it came out of my mouth either. And I said, you be nice. And he looks at me and goes, oh, yes, I will be. I'm like, good, go. Sometimes you have to show people how to be nice. Not just with money, but, he probably learned a valuable lesson. Guess how, next time he got in line, the people that would get in the cab, do you think he'd treat them good? I bet you he would, because why? I put him in a good mood. His attitude changed right there. There's a little Walmart by my house. Well, not a little one, it's kind of big. I live in Naperville, Illinois, and last year we were rated the 4th fastest growing place in America, and we dropped in the rankings this year. Last year we were rated the #1 place to live in America. Now we're #2, so I don't know, something's going on. I moved in, so something's we dropped. We have a great mayor, and it's right outside Chicago. It's a beautiful little place, and my family's from there. And anyways, well, there it is. I was wondering where the little afro thing went for this. There it is. All right. I didn't know where you went. I was like, where is that thing? Anyways, as I'm standing at Walmart, I'm getting ready to go through the express line. The express line has the purpose of moving, and it's not moving. And people are getting upset. One lady, she goes, what kind of Walmart is this? Expecting somebody to say, it's the bad one. You chose poorly. And little bald-headed man in front of me, I got nothing wrong with being bald, but he's getting so upset, his head was turning so many different colors. Being ADD, I just wanted to turn green. Here was the problem. There's a little elderly man at the counter. His back is hunched over. He looks sad, despondent. He just does not look like he has any color in his skin, and he's moving everything out of his cart at quantum speeds. 1 tic-tac, 2 tic-tac. That's how he's moving. And it's affecting everybody in line, except for me. I had a spirit of patience that day. I was fine. And this guy immediately unlocked my compassion. And whatever unlocks your compassion is what you've been assigned to do something about. That could have been bad. Hey, I was a speaker. He fell backwards and cracked his head. We're going to his funeral next week. And I can't tell you how many moments I had with him. I fell on an escalator the other day. As soon as the escalator stair went up, it pushed my luggage, and I fell down onto another guy. But he's holding me up like this. The whole riding down with him holding me, because I can't get my leverage. I have to ride like this. And I remember just kind of looking at him in his face, and I said, thank you. He goes, no problem. Like, this could have been bad. And he just kind of looked at me like, I think it already is. Anyways, we're at the Walmart, and I thought maybe I could follow this guy to the parking lot, because I thought, maybe I'll help him carry his groceries. But then I didn't want to freak him out, because he's this little guy and this big human. He looked back and went, oh, God sent the big man for me. I'm here to help you. The lady behind the counter beat me to it. She looks at him and she says, sir, y'all having a good day? She's got a southern drawl on. He says, no. I'm like, that's the wrong question. She goes, okay. Then he begins to walk away. And as he's walking away, his back is hunched over. And she calls out to him. She goes, excuse me, sir. Looks at the customers. Please wait. Old man turns, yes. She says, that's the ADD thing. It's a different story. Focus, Sam. She says, have you had a hug today? The old man says, no. And as I stood in the back, I thought, they're giving out hugs at Walmart. Hey, they're giving out hugs in the express line. And she walks around and she goes, I'm going to give you one of mine because they're good. Yeah, they were good. She walked up to him, and she didn't give him a flagrant hug like, peace on earth. She walked up and she squeezed the living charmin out of this guy. And as she's squeezing him and just holding him, his eyeballs look like that. And we're all standing in line just thinking, that's not normal at all. But you know what? Walmart didn't limit her. Her salary didn't limit her. The changes and challenges that she goes through in life didn't limit her. She gave the best of who she was, and guess what she's going to get in return? The best. Whatever we send out, it will come back. Kindness, it makes footprints. That old man, his back straightened up. He walked out of there feeling good. And as we stood in line, everybody's smiling in line now. That's the impact of attitude. It catches on, it's catchy. The little bald-headed man looks back at me, smiles, and goes, hey, big guy, I think we're going to get one of those hugs. I looked down and I said, I'll give you a hug. We didn't talk the rest of the way. Apparently my involvement created uncomfortability. So I stepped up to the counter and she's checking me out and she smiled. She goes, you having a good day? And I said, I am. And I just witnessed something cool that made me smile. Thinking about that old guy, I leaned in and I didn't want the people behind me to hear. I'm like, does Walmart pay you extra to hug weird looking men? She stopped, she leans in, she goes, why, do you need one? You might be my kind of woman. Before I let you go, I brought a free gift for everybody, a little gift to sew into you. I have a table over here, and if you like, I have a little miniature chalk picture that you can take and put in your house, your living room, wherever you live. And these are over here. You're welcome to grab a couple if you want to give them away to somebody. And on the back is my information. You can grab a card. And if you'd like to email us and tell us what you thought of the program. If you didn't like the program, please email us. We'll send you a virus so you know what we think of you. We'll test your attitude. We have some other goodies over here. I just came out with this brand new book 3 weeks ago. It's a great little book. It's ADD friendly, which means the words are absolutely huge. I don't even think you need glasses to read this. But if you like, I'll autograph it. That way, if you ever sell it at a garage sale or on eBay, it's for 50 cents more. These are $5. I have a DVD that's got a lot of this on there and that they were playing in the cafeteria. Those are $5. And if you like, you can listen to this whole message you heard here on audio, driving to and from wherever you go in life. The audio is $5, and if you get anything here, we have a free poster that goes with each purchase. So I'll be around here to visit afterwards. And before I close here, are there any questions? Anybody, any comments at all? This is the Q&A section. This is the Q&A part. Any questions at all? Okay, you got an involved group. Somebody make something up. Yeah.
Where do you get your inspiration?
My brother Ben left college to pursue all Bill's engagements. Bill had drawn in front of presidents, all the NFL teams. He's a humble man. He's a great guy. And when I graduated college, I traveled with Ben as well. And I saw the impact that Ben was having. And I thought, I'm going to learn how to do this too. So I taught myself how to do this. And I'm going to have my first real art lesson in about a month. So I'm kind of excited. I'm not kidding. If you notice, I just throw color on and just blend it however. This is an ADD picture, folks. So that other guy could mess it all up. But a year from now, you see it, you're like, I don't like it at all. But my inspiration, it comes through my faith, it comes through my family, and it just comes from a heart to make a difference in people's lives. And when you hear the stories of so many different people and how their life needs a little bit of encouragement, that keeps you going. So, good question. Did you have a question? You just fixing your glasses.
I was just going to ask that, how did you get into being a motivational speaker?
Wouldn't it be great if I was just like boring the whole time? Watching me like, I got, what was the question again? How did I get traveling around the country? I was telling some people earlier, I got started by teaching Sunday school probably 10 years ago. And I honestly did not set out to be a speaker on purpose. because I almost passed out in high school. My teacher, in the middle of a speech, she raised her hand and she goes, "Mr. Glenn?" And I remember looking at her going, "Yeah." "Is you okay? You got to sit down?" And I remember I sat down and I told my friend Hans, I said, "I will never, ever speak again." In fact, I took a 0 in a course in college for a section of it because we had to get up and give a speech, and I'm like, "I ain't doing it." The teacher's like, "You get a 0." I'm like, "Fine with me." I said, "I'm here on a scholarship." So anyways, I started by teaching Sunday school, and that's how it kind of snowballed for me. Actually, what happened was I was filling in for the youth pastor, and then a friend of mine who works for the Fellowship of Christian Athletes asked me to speak to a group about this size. And I just went there, and I was a little more hyperactive back then. And in my audience, get this, we want to talk about a calling happening. In my audience was Billy Graham's grandson. If you don't know who Billy Graham is, type it in. Google it. It's a great message. But his grandson is in my audience, and he came up to me afterwards, and I mostly spoke to youth back then, and he came up and goes, "Man, you are so messed up. The youth of America will love you." And the next thing you know, I'm speaking to crowds as large as 75,000 people. And I'm just sitting there on stage like, what am I doing here? And the weird part is just before that, just a year before that, I was a janitor. I went to college. I crammed 4 years of college into 5. But when I graduated, I got fired from my first 2 jobs. One of them happened to me by my brother, and he did it in the best interest of me because things kept going wrong. So I don't know, I electrocuted him, I hit him with the car. And then one of those big travel bubbles on top of the car went flying off at an intersection. And that pushed him over the edge. So. But, I know that was kind of a long answer for you, but hopefully that answers it. Any other final questions before I wrap it up?
What was your major in college? And you said you were there on a scholarship for what?
I went on a scholarship to play college basketball at St. Xavier University, and I majored in marketing and administration. So, and actually, a lot of people, if a lot of people ask me about this championship ring, this was a gift from the Super Bowl ring makers. I now speak to a lot of athletic teams, and I talk about what it takes to be a champion for life. So the Super Bowl ring guys, I've spoken to a couple NFL teams that have won Super Bowls, and they've modified a ring for me because I don't want a Super Bowl ring. I said, you know, it would be kind of cool. They said, we'd like to give you a gift, and I'd like to give you one of our rings. And I said, you know, why don't we modify it after one of my messages called What It Takes to Be a Champion for Life. And a lot of things you heard me here talk about, that's incorporated into this ring. So nice little gift, huh? I was just like, bling, bling. It's sparkly, so when you're AED, I'm sitting on the airplane just kind of looking at it. People are looking at me, that guy's not right. But I will tell you this, education, I do believe education is so important. You have to be willing to learn and invest in yourself because you have to think of yourself as a field. And when you sow into yourself and you nurture that, you're going to reap a harvest. So I do read a lot of books, and that's why I've written a lot of books, because whatever goes in, it's going to come out. So anyways, I want to... Somebody's phone's going on? That's great. It's been a joy being here. I want to thank you guys for bringing me in. You did great. I hope this has made a difference. If it hasn't, I don't care. I'm just teasing. It's all good. It's all humor. I hope to meet some of you. Feel free to grab one of those cards as you guys leave. You guys have been a blessing. Remember your attitude. God bless you.
Amen.